Hi, this is Patricia Stepler with your Dream Power. What do you see when you look in the mirror? Businesses and organizations spend thousands and thousands of dollars training people to do more. And it's learning that knowledge. And the problem is that so often we know what to do, but we're not doing it. And that is the key to getting great success in the 21st century. It's not the knowledge. You can look that up easily. It's doing that's the key. And see, we have to have that emotional intelligence to be able to resist that temptation to chase that shiny object, to go after things and to not stay focused. How many times does your computer make a sound or your phone makes a sound and that object's distracting you? Those distractions cost you time and money. So we have to learn how to use the will of our mind to control that and to manage our activities. Sometimes people talk about time management. You cannot manage time. We all have 24 hours in a day. All we can do is to manage the activities. And when you become an expert at being productive and being able to accomplish more in a smaller amount of time, will that not make you more valuable to your company or to your business? There are ways to do that. There are ways to accomplish so much more than the person sitting next to you. To reach mastery on any level in our 7 levels of awareness, which I talked about the other day, when you have those seven levels, when you want to reach mastery, it's about experiences that you've had and the way you've been able to discipline your mind to actually accomplish that. And that all starts on your inside. So often people miss that. They think if they do task and they do this, they do that, and they write down their to-do list, and it's all about activities that they're doing. When in reality, it all starts on the inside. You see, human beings have been given this gift of the 6 intellectual faculties of intuition, imagination, memory, perception, reason, and will. And those 6 will take you beyond where most people just operate through their senses. You see, most humans make a lot of excuses because they allow the outside world to give them that ability to make excuses. And we think that, it's social media or technology or some app or some new guru. And none of that really matters if we haven't straightened up our inside and our inside voices. You see, when you look in the mirror, who do you see? Do you see the person with the results that you're having, or do you see the person that you want to be? It's a matter of shifting your self-awareness, your self-image, your self-confidence, so that you are the person that you need to be in order to accomplish your goal. You see, you can never outperform the image you hold of yourself. So if you hold the image of an entry-level worker, but you want to be the CEO, as long as you're thinking like an entry-level worker, you'll never be the CEO. If you're thinking like an employee, you will never be a successful business owner. You have to become the person first before you can actually do the task. And when we use those intellectual faculties and we hold the imagination and the will, we start to be able to eliminate the distractions that are causing us to stay where we are. And we start to focus on what's really important. See, we build the image and then we live in that image. When we start chasing objects and we start chasing after things outside of us, it's really expressing something that we feel inadequate about. And there may be some times when you do feel inadequate and you need to be going after something, but not necessarily chasing a shiny object. It's something that you have reasoned you've thought about, and you realize that it's a weakness that you need to strengthen. When we're just chasing, it's just because we don't know what direction to go in. See, we have three parts of our mind. We have this robotic part of our mind, which is our habits. And that controls about 95% of our day, are the habits that we do. And then we have this 5% that's the part we need to tame. I like to call it the squirrel brain. Some people call it the monkey brain, but I don't see enough monkeys, so I can't relate to a monkey as much as I can a squirrel. I see squirrels and watch how they move in one direction and then the other and then the other and then the other, and they're just always moving around. And they seemingly get no place, but they must at some point, because they certainly store their nuts for the winter. I just never see that part. I just see them chasing. And when we're chasing, we're never getting any place either. So what are you missing as far as your image or of your confidence that needs strengthened? See, by nature, we tend to be very lazy, and that's been built into us to keep us from exerting so much. So it's a survival skill that we've had for, well, over 200,000 years. It's been part of us. So when we go to set a goal or set a New Year's resolution, so often by, let's say, February 1st, it's no longer part of our goal. We've given up on it. Why is that? It's because we don't have the discipline and the desire built enough in us. And we're not holding the vision of what we want, and we give up. So we need to learn how to drive us to the achievement that we want. Part of the problem is that we live in a very fast-paced world, and it's changing all the time. And nobody can keep up with everything anymore. There's too much knowledge to have. There's too many new technologies, too many different things, too much progress for a person to keep up on everything, which just causes that overwhelm and confusion. And that impacts that chase. So we do have a third part of our brain, which I've heard called the sage brain or that calming brain. But we've already had 95% in our robotic or habitual brain, and we have 5% in our squirrel. What's left? Well, let's take a little sliver out. But yet this part of the brain is the most important part, because this is the part that helps you to go inside and see the things that you need. And if we can learn to strengthen this through personal development, through study of who we are, when you can strengthen that, you can tame that squirrel part of your brain. And you can keep yourself from chasing things, because now you're going to have more self-confidence. You're going to have a better self-image, and you will definitely have more awareness of self and what's around you. So when you get to that point, then you can start to develop the systems, and you can see the pattern of things that you need instead of chasing after things that you don't need, at least not yet. Some of them are things that you need later on, but not now. So successful people form the habit of doing things failures don't like to do. That's from an article by, I believe it's E.N. Gray, called the Denominator of Success. You see, it's not that successful people enjoy doing things that most people don't enjoy doing. They don't like doing them either. They don't like making cold calls. They don't like, going after new clients and, going after any more than anybody else does. What they do like is the result that that's going to give them. So they do them long enough to turn it into a habit where they don't have to think about it anymore. They just do it. Isn't that what a habit is? Something you no longer have to think about. You just do it, whether you really want to do it or not. It just becomes a habit, like washing your dishes. after you eat. It just becomes a habit. Doesn't mean you like washing dishes. It's the result that you want. You want clean dish the next time you go into your cupboard. So instead of looking and fretting about what they don't want, they figure out a way to almost trick them to the point where their focus is on the result and the accomplishment. And then they will do the things that they don't want to do. So when your purpose is strong enough and you form that habit of doing things that you don't necessarily like to do in order to accomplish what most people will never accomplish, that's when you'll get your result. I would like you to join me for the Stop Chasing Shiny Objects Summit, where I have 16 experts in this field coming in to help you to calm your brain and focus on what you really need to do in order to accomplish those amazing goals that you really want to have. This is Patricia Stepler with Your Dream Power. Be the magic in your dreams.